As part of his contribution to the PPP learning ecology, Alberto C. Agra, a certified PPP and regulation specialist and a PPP and political law professor and bar reviewer, presents Philippine PPP 101.
Public-private partnerships, or PPPs, in the Philippines is a priority program and is a key development strategy. PPPs may be undertaken by implementing agencies at 3 levels of the government bureaucracy: national government agencies, government corporations and instrumentalities, and local government units. These implementing agencies collaborate with a private sector proponent or PSP for a particular project. The parties exchange resources, share obligations, apportion risks, and reap the benefits. The project may be a hard or infrastructure project or a soft or social service project. Examples of hard projects are reclamation, airports, seaports, roads, bridges, monorail, water supply, power, and even market redevelopment. Soft projects, on the other hand, are hospitals, classrooms, and agriculture development. Related projects may be synergized together under one contract. This would ensure viability and provision for more services. While an evacuation center may not be viable on its own, other components may be added. On a piece of land owned by a city, an evacuation center may be built with an intermodal transport terminal, even a gas station, and a mall. This is the bundling approach. Waste-to-energy and hydropower projects are other examples. PPP is like a marriage contract or a credit card scheme where the government gets the service today and pays for it later. A PPP can also be compared to a boat ride where the government steers or regulates while the PSP rows. More appropriate in the Philippines, which shows the Filipino tradition, is the symbolism of bayanihan, or community spirit, where 4 sets of stakeholders help carry a shanty from one place to another. They must, trusting each other, work together towards one direction. Government cannot carry the burden and responsibility of development by itself. Government partners with the PSP since it wants to co-promote development and to co-improve the quality of life of the people. Government believes that the PSP can introduce innovation, accelerate the delivery of services, and provide better value for money. Government can share the functions and corresponding risks with the PSP. Government can also pursue PPPs because it lacks the resources. PPPs in the Philippines can have several meanings because there is no single governing law. There are at least 8 PPP laws and regulations corresponding to 24 PPP modalities. 9 modalities are stated under Republic Act No. 6957 as amended by RA 7718, or more popularly known as the BOT Law. Under this law, the PSP assumes the financing, designing, constructing, and operating functions. The government does not participate in the operations. It merely regulates, sets policies, and in certain occasions, contributes resources. Under the BOT modality, the PSP designs, finances, builds, owns, operates the road, and at the end of the long-term period, transfer the asset to government. Under the build, transfer, operate modality, the government owns the asset after turnover immediately after construction. The PSP operates the asset, in this case, not as owner. The President may add 3 similar modalities to the list of 9. Local governments today can undertake these, where the PSP rehabilitates, finances, and operates an existing facility. Special laws, whether national or local, must be followed. For example, for power and transmission projects, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, not the BOT law, is the applicable law. For joint ventures or JVs by government corporations and local governments, the guidelines issued by the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA and template ordinance issued by the Department of Interior and Local Government or the DILG, respectively, would be the governing laws. In a JV, both the government and the PSP pool their resources, co-contribute, co-implement a project, and co-share in the profits, revenues, even in the losses and risks in proportion to their contributions. On the part of government, the contribution may be cash or non-cash. Non-cash participation can come in the form of allowing its property to be used, giving a tax incentive, or awarding a concession. Government may also lease its property for a fee. The PSP can also manage a business enterprise of or provide a service for government. Government may either pay the PSP or draw revenues from the PSP business. The first scenario is governed by the Government Procurement Reform Act under a management or a service contract. Government may also sell its asset. This is the reverse of procurement. A Commission on Audit circular must be followed. Public auction is the procedure for divestment. Government may also form a subsidiary, incorporate the same before the Securities and Exchange Commission, and attach an asset to that new corporation. Later on, it may sell the corporation together with the asset in the initial public offering or stock exchange. This is corporatization. Government may also set up a new company and allow a PSP to have a minority equity. This is government subsidiary with private equity. PSPs can also donate to government. If there is no condition or burden attached, this is a gratuitous donation. If material obligations are required to be performed by government, it becomes an onerous donation. The Civil Code is the relevant law. For these arrangements, how does government select the PSP? Any selection procedure must follow 4 parameters. The PACT: public advantage, accountability, competition, and transparency. The PSP must be legally, technically, and financially capable. It must follow the nationality requirements, show track record, and have the resources to finance the project. There are 3 ways of guaranteeing PACT. Most agencies are familiar with the competitive selection or open bidding approach. The implementing agency issues the tender documents, publishes the invitation, and pre-qualifies the bidders. Those pre-qualified are called to a conference, and then those interested shall submit their respective technical and financial offers, where the best offer from a bidder gets the award. Who is the best then? The winner in the bidding is determined depending on the parameters set and the applicable governing law. There are 7 financial parameters. Highest payment to government, what is in it for government? Lowest government subsidy, what is the cost to government? Lowest tariff by end user, how much will the users pay? Highest share in revenues, how much is the government's share? Highest purchase price, how much is the government willing to sell? Highest rated bid, who can provide the best service? And lowest calculated bid or price, what is the cheapest price? Becoming more popular is the competitive challenge or the unsolicited proposal. Rather than originating from government, the study comes from and is funded by the PSP. This is submitted together with a cover letter, proposal, draft contract, and eligibility documents. The head of agency endorses the documents to a selection committee, which in turn evaluates and endorses it back either for acceptance or rejection. Under the BOT law and DILG circular, no other proposal can be entertained by the agency if the head of agency accepts the proposal. The PSP now becomes the original proponent. This ends stage 1. negotiation follows. If the government and the original proponent or OP come to terms, a certificate of successful negotiations is executed. This is stage 2. Stage 3 commences with the publication inviting challengers to submit comparative proposals. The OP posts a proposal security, and if there are no challengers, the OP gets the contract based on the agreed terms. And if there are qualified challengers, then the OP has the right to match the best or superior offer. If it fails to match the financial offer, the challenger wins. However, under the current NEDA guidelines, there is no right to match. The second financial offer of the OP is open at the same time the envelopes of the challengers are opened. Whoever offers the highest revenue percentage gets the PPP contract for that particular project. PPP can thus be summarized in 10 P's. PPP, first and foremost, is about partnership for the people who act as payers. The government and the PSP are the parties to a pact who co-implement projects and allocate peril or risk between themselves. The PSP is selected through competitive procedures where the contracts have performance targets which should be achieved in a given period. Just to be clear, PPP is not just about a project and a particular transaction. PPP is a developmental, innovative, change, and partnership strategy aimed at promoting the general welfare, inclusive growth, and better quality of life of Filipinos. PPP is Bayan Ihan for our country and is pursued by the people or the heroes as the Bayani Han. PPP is thus for and by the people. This is P4 now being espoused by the DILG. We all have a stake in all government projects, PPP included. We are co-responsible, we are co-owners, and we are co-champions for PPP projects that respond to our needs. You are now part of the PPP learning ecology. Thank you.